What's happening, sports fans? We hope you are well. We hope you are safe. We hope you are indoors and binge watching all of our old and new top recruit interviews like this one with Thomas Caneday. And I don't think I said that quite right, but it's okay because we're all going a little crazy here. Thank you so much for being on with us. He is a senior at Helix High School. He is committed to go play baseball at the University of Nevada, as you can see there. Wolfpack? Is that
Yep, Wolfpack.
all right, go
Yeah.
Wolfpack. Thank you so much for being on with us, my man. Very sorry about the end of your season, but how are you holding up?
Thank you for having me, of course. It's been tough, not being able to see anyone. I've had a daily routine that I've been doing, just working out and trying to social distance myself, all of that. And yeah, it's getting kind of boring, but I'm pulling through.
Now, if I have this correct, you are primarily a pitcher.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I just want to point something out because this is a long-running thing that people have against pitchers. He said that he's working out. Pitchers are athletes too. Pitchers
Yeah.
are indeed athletes too. Have you struggled with that in your lifetime? Of
I
people
used
not
to,
thinking pitchers are athletes?
yeah, all the time, people just think you can't hit, but I used to take BP and I would hit it out.
It's everything. It's oh, you don't run that much. Oh, you don't. No, it's you have to be very athletic to be a pitcher.
Yeah.
So let's start with your commitment to the University of Nevada. Why the Wolfpack?
I really like the feel of it. It's definitely different than California. I had some options here, but Nevada, I like the feel, the coaches, my degree. I might either do business or sports medicine, but I really like the feel. It's almost like an East Coast school in Nevada. Just the feel of it is.
So kind of close to home, but far enough away to be something completely different at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We occasionally hear good stories, funny stories, whatever it is, about when you actually got the offer from your school that you end up committing to. Any good story about how and when you got the offer from the university?
Yeah, it was during lunch at school. I I got a text from a random number, said, "This is Coach from Nevada, and I'll be giving you a call in a few minutes." So I rushed over to a quiet spot of the school, and that very first phone call, I got offered, and I was like, "Did I really hear that correctly?" And then we talked later that night, and it was like, "Yeah, they definitely offered me." And then I went and visited like a few weeks later, I think, and from there,
It
I
just clicked
committed.
from
Like,
there.
yeah, yeah,
So from a random number texting you, hey, brace for impact, your life's about to change, to a
yeah,
few weeks later being able to make that decision, it seems like
yeah.
things have really lined up for you. A big part of that has to come from your experience and time. Hold on a second. I got a second FaceTime coming in. Casey, hi. That's Thomas Caneday. He goes to Helix. He and I are having an interview right now. That's the camera. So I'm going to leave this in if that's okay with you. No? Okay, goodbye. I don't know if I should leave that in or not. I might. Like I said, brace for impact. 2 weeks later, things start to change. What advice, maybe, would you give to kids, 8th graders, 7th graders, 11th grade, whoever, just along the recruiting process about how someone can be their best advocate?
Yeah, just stick with the grind. It's all, if you're good enough, you're good enough, and if you're not good enough, then you'll get there if you love the game enough. Um, but yeah, it'll come.
So what I was going to ask you beforehand, before my train of thought got all derailed, was being at Helix. I know that everyone views it through football because football is always an open division, but it seems like everything's always an open division. It seems like it's just a competitive atmosphere to be around. The baseball program has been in the conversation nonstop the last few years. What has that instilled in you as a baseball player? How has that shaped you as an athlete? What has the environment of Helix done for you?
Just that competitive atmosphere. We've got basketball working out with us during preseason and stuff, and brings it like a lot more competitiveness into the season. Football, you've got them walking around, and it's pretty fun during school and stuff. And baseball, it's all sports. Even our soccer team did pretty well this year. Boys soccer, they went and won that championship at against, I forgot what team, but it was pretty cool, just that competitive atmosphere.
Well, and I think that that's kind of aimed at the Nevada fans meeting you for the first time, is because sometimes guys will come from real small schools where they put up huge numbers, but they don't get a ton of competition. Sometimes their numbers will be kind of not look that impressive because they were the 25th man on a roster of all future major leaguers. And so it's hard to know just off of the numbers. Sometimes it's really easy to know based off of just who you were around. One guy that you're around who's kind of a nut is your coach. And I say that in a loving way, because baseball players have a lot of downtime, so coaches have a lot of downtime with them. There's got to be something funny you can tell us about Coach. Some stories, some memories, something. Hit us with something.
Coach Holland, he's actually, after every year, we've done this little thing. We go out to Alpine. There's a paintball park, and I love paintball. I'm a big paintball guy. I really gotten into it this year, and he takes us out. And I think last year it was, we were in, these bushes are huge. You can't really see anyone, but there was this little wooden bunker. And then I think just a few feet away was him hiding behind one. I came up, pointed at him, and he was like, "No, you better not shoot me. I'm your coach. I brought you here. I did all this for you. Don't shoot me." I was just kind of scared.
He tries playing that card in the middle of combat.
Yeah.
Did you shoot him?
No.
No! No!
I ended up getting him later in his hand, and he got all puffy and stuff. But that was
okay. Fair enough. And Coach, all of that is meant with nothing but love.
Yes,
and
yes.
it's nothing but greatness. And I think that there's a lot of those moments that baseball coaches uniquely get to have versus other coaches, because it's not quite as labor intensive all the time to be you're not calling plays nonstop. You have a lot of time to think about, hey, how are we going to have some fun with these dudes?
Yeah.
One thing that I think is definitely fun about baseball is the colorful language from the dugout, because football players, I always say, linemen get away with anything. They can swear at each other. They can talk to each other however you want. You know that that's happening. Baseball, from the dugout, you can't just swear. You have to be creative and you have to be clever. And so I always like to ask around if anybody has any good ones that they've heard from the dugouts lately. I think that I got to nominate always. I heard from Bonita Vista this year. He's your mom's favorite baseball player. And to me, that's perfect. It's PG, but it sends like a particularly damn, kind of message. Any good ones you can share with us?
Freshman year, there were a couple players that did this SpongeBob. Do they have chocolate or something? It was one of those scenes. Yeah, that one. And then I think there was something.
Do you remember who that was?
That was the lady, the old lady that was like.
No. Who on your team? Oh. No, I remember the scene exactly.
That was Jordan Jackson. At Nevada right now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. I think people will remember Jordan. The older people will all remember Jordan. You're going to be teaming up with him potentially next year. That'll be kind of awesome.
That'll be cool.
I always, for the last couple of weeks, I would always end an interview with saying, "Hey, we hope to see you again soon. What are you going to do until you're back on the mound?" But now, obviously, spring season has been canceled. Is there a message that you want to send to your fellow teammates, to the other seniors out there? Just what are you going to miss about Helix? What are you going to miss about your squad?
Helix guys, love you, man. I'm going to really miss you. I'll be off to Nevada pretty soon, and to the rest of you seniors across the board, just keep grinding. It'll all be all right.
I think that everyone's kind of in a boat of not really knowing what to do right now. None of our parents or adults can offer any sort of, hey, we've been through this, so we know how to handle this. And I think a lot of people are just left kind of hanging. So really appreciate you saying that. Really appreciate you being on with us. We will look forward to seeing you switch over to, what's the official color scheme? Is it just blue and gray? Is there official color blue?
Yeah, navy blue and gray.
All right, so we look forward from all sorts of the Kelly, Scotty greens and whatever's to blue and gray. Thomas, thank you so much for being on with us, folks. A lot of senior athletes out there right now need your well wishes and your prayers for them. The season is over and potentially high school sports are over. So they need all of the positive thoughts that they can get. Thank you so much for being on with us, my man. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you for having me.